All right. What's going on? What's going on? Colts Nation, hope you're doing all right today. Gonna let this hang out. See if we can get some people in here. Um, Again, hope everybody's having a good day. Got to this as soon as I could. It's 4:05 as we're starting up here. Here on Thursday, the 25th. The Colts had their first practice of the new season. Training camp practice was today. Hey, what's going on? Getting in here right away. What is going on, man? Good to see. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, like I said, Colts getting into their first training camp practice today. Didn't seem like there was a whole lot going on. Seemed like mostly individual stuff. I saw that there was some either 7-on-7 work or 11-on-11, whatever it was. Anthony Richardson doing his thing, the offense doing their thing, some good notes coming out, and some competition that's going to continue to heat up, man. The competition is going to rev up, and we kind of already talked about, back in May, I believe, about some of the different positions that we're looking at, some of the specific competitions that we're looking at. Cornerback, we were looking at some stuff. Safety, I think we looked at. Wide receivers, of course. And we even looked at backup running back, right, which I expect Evan Hull to take that. But right now, it seems like Trey Sermon is involved with the offense and getting involved with our core guys. So we'll see what happens there. But I do want to just go over everything that I saw on Twitter. I feel like I follow a bunch of Colts people. So there's a lot of different videos coming out on Twitter today, just stuff going on. So I figured, hey, what the heck? I'll just open up my Twitter and we'll look at this together. This is a little zoomed in. So you might not see everything that's on the screen, but pretty much everything we have is going to be right here in the middle of the screen. So obviously here we have just proof of life for Anthony Richardson at practice. Try to talk right into the microphone here. And he's thrown from sideline to sideline without really even stepping up. I don't think people understand how gifted you have to be be able to really be able to do that. Anthony Richardson looking just fine. His throwing motions look just fine. You have Charlie Partridge going through a drill with the defensive line. See Coach Partridge right there in the middle. And then what you're seeing, you're not seeing, everything here. Let me just try to move that a little bit. Boom. So you get kind of a better view of what's going on here. Defensive line, you see a lot of these guys, right? Latu stepping up, number 97 here. Great job. I mean, how quick he went through that. Just so good. And you'll notice there are other clips of the defensive line. Grover Stewart, DeForest Buckner going together and kind of just showing everybody what the expectation is through these drills, which I thought was really cool. But then you have here A.D. Mitchell catching the ball on the sideline from Anthony Richardson. And, I mean, a lot of that. We're hoping to see a lot of that. Boom, boom, get out there, boom. And, of course, in game time, real game, you want the ball, boom, to be coming out and him full speed to the sideline and ball hits right there. This is routes on air. That's what a lot of today was routes on air. But good to see Anthony Richardson getting some timing down with the rookie. A.D. Mitchell, somebody that we're going to be looking at all training camp long and through the preseason, see what happens. Here we just have, it looks like tight ends. Oh, okay, so you have a little bit of everything. Tight ends, running backs, receivers, going through a drill with the quarterbacks, hitting these quick passes. And this is a nice little drill, right? One thing we knew that Anthony Richardson was going to have to work on this season was these short passes. And Joe Flacco what are we even doing here? But yeah, that's what you really want to see. Just hit your guys in your numbers, right? Number 17 there. Can't hit him in the numbers. Number 8 does. I believe number 8 is Jason Bean, I believe. And 17 is Keaton Slovis. Don't hold me to that, but I'm almost certain that number 8 is Jason Bean. So keep going forward here, see what else we're getting. You'll notice a lot of this is James Boyd. James Boyd, really good at what he does. One of my favorite follows in terms of Colts reporters and whatnot. Works for The Athletic. Excuse me. And he was actually on the Trenches show with Zaire Franklin, Tim, and man, I'm blanking on her name right now, but the woman that they work with. Yeah, I'm just blanking on the name right now, but was with them and made an appearance on that. So he's really good. This here is Ashton Doolin getting some drills in. Really good footwork right there. I mean, precise cuts. He doesn't even have any wrap on his knee. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Angie, I don't know. I think it starts with a C. I'm almost certain it starts with, like, I can't believe I'm forgetting this name. But, you know, whoever they're with, she's really good at what she does. I'm pretty sure the way they've made it sound, I'm pretty sure she does work for the Colts social media team and does that whole bit, and that's how they know her. So she's really good, right? Colts production team is incredible. If she's a part of that, then she's in that. But, yeah, Ashton Doolin getting in here. Daniel, what's up, buddy? Ashton Doolin, yeah, good to see him. Again, not even having his knees wrapped up. The footwork, you can see he's getting quicker as those steps go. So he's like warming himself up. He's still getting used to himself, and that's where he starts to go. Gets his knees driving, gets out on that route. Just good to see him going again. And we'll see what he does this season. Does he go back to returning the ball? Is he just a depth piece on the offense? We'll see. But this is one that I wanted to have some volume on. Hopefully you guys can hear it. My computer doesn't really play. The computer doesn't play volume. I have to have headphones on for that. But it says that the crowd was going wild. Anthony Richardson just out here casually ripping bombs early on in practice. Love to see that. And this is kind of what I was talking about here. Quick 60-minute practice. Anthony Richardson was 4 for 5 and 11. Okay, so it was 11 on 11 work, and Anthony Richardson was 4 for 5, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And we're going to skip ahead here because I know there was something else. Here it was from Dominic Miranda. Anthony Richardson to Alec Pierce over the middle for a touchdown early on in the red zone period. AR looks confident and normal, follows it up with a touchdown on the far sideline to Michael Pittman Jr. Now, there was another tweet that looks like I did not save. Sorry. Just like yesterday, man, I promise. When I turn these lights on, for some reason, just start yawning for some reason. But catching back up to where we were. Anthony Richardson, again, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, one of which to Alec Pierce. So Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell, the competition between those two is going to burn on. With Ashton Doolin coming back, what role does he play in that? What role will he play in the offense? We're going to be looking at the receivers hardcore going forward, and leads us kind of to what we're looking at here, right? Josh Downs coming up. This is a footwork drill, getting around the cones, agility, how fast can you get around and get going again, the explosiveness that's there. You see Pitt, for as big as he is, like you expect what you're looking at here. He's going quick feet digs right there. Alec Pierce looks really good. That's really fluid for Alec Pierce. Looks like a really good improvement from him. Of course, Ashton Doolin, I mean, looks normal. All things considered, Ashton Doolin looks completely normal. It's really good to see him coming back this year, the way he's looking. Raekwon Davis, an update that I saw after we had our update video yesterday. Raekwon Davis has high blood pressure, which is why he's on the non-football injury list to start training camp, but he will be out there as soon as he gets that regulated. So, between him and the high blood pressure, AD, and there we go. AD and the blood sugar issues that he has, and the diabetes, hopefully able to keep these things regulated. We'll see Raekwon when he's able to get on the field. Hopefully he's just going to be okay. That's all we really hope there. But then you see A.D. Mitchell running with the ones in 7-on-7. So you have, Alec Pierce is getting the touchdown in 11-on-11 work from Anthony Richardson, but A.D. Mitchell running with the ones in 7-on-7. So very interesting. One of the touchdowns or one of the plays in the red zone that Anthony Richardson ended up making was a 3-yard scramble, running for a touchdown. Crowd loves it, of course. And just a note where his ability to cut and change direction is incredible. That's good. No issues with his legs, right? It's really his shoulder that we're focused on coming into the season. But this is what I was talking about, where DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart showing the young guys how it's done on the sled here. These guys stepping up. You see Grover is one of the only defensive linemen that doesn't have the cap on there. Tyquan Lewis also doesn't have one on his helmet. My apologies, excuse me. That's really what you're looking for. Having the vets come in, do what they're supposed to do, show the young guys what they need to do. James Boyd, just a good tweet here. From the first day Colts camp, I forgot to talk about the Ryan Kelly extension and the fact that there isn't going to be one. Kind of what we've talked about through this offseason, something I mentioned was that Ryan Kelly, as we go forward into the future, might be somebody that becomes expendable. When you look at what we did in the draft this year, Tanner Bortolini, somebody that I think can be the next Jason Kelce. When you think about his personality, yeah, kind of, Jason Kelce-esque, but also play style and everything that comes with Tanner Bortolini. For me, it just compares to Jason Kelce, right? And Jason Kelce had his flaws, but the things that he was great at, it pushed that to the side, okay? And he was able to be great at what he needed to be great at. So Ryan Kelly could be expendable to us now. Also, there is what Chris Ballard was talking about where, loyalty matters and continuity matters. So will that come into play? What will that situation be? I'm sure that's one. My apologies. I'm sure that's one that as we get into the offseason that we're going to be talking about. And hopefully, we're a long way away from it. But when Chris Ballard has his end-of-year press conference, I'm sure that's going to be a hot topic when that comes around. Okay, but then Anthony Richardson not having limitations, of course. No news on Jonathan Taylor, which is great, of course. Juju Brents, the ankle cleanup, just hoping to have him back in a matter of days. I believe I saw that there is a practice tomorrow. There's going to be a practice. No practice tomorrow. And then a practice on Saturday and a practice on Sunday. And then no practice on Monday. And then a practice on Tuesday. That, at least right now, that's what I know of going into the future. Hopefully Juju Brents is back by the time we get to that Tuesday. Yeah, let's go Colts, man. Let's go. Appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead. Hit that subscribe button for me. Hit that like button. Helps the channel out for sure. Then as we continue here, as I said, James Boyd making his appearance on the Trenches show. And out here living the dream. James Boyd really good at what he does. Jonathan Taylor getting some early reps in training camp. Something we didn't see last year was Jonathan Taylor practicing early in the season. So having him out here, having JT out here early is a big deal, honestly, man. Having him in, endorsing the quarterback, hoping he plays 17 games. Tyler Goodson is practicing, starting the season on the PUP, but he is at practice right now, which is great news. A.D. Mitchell going through his first training camp. And some of the drills that he's going through being put online here is what we're looking at with Ashton Doolin. Not as clean, right? That's not as clean as you would hope. The way that looks, knee drive, not what it is. Um, but it looks like he's more focused on footwork and that, getting the feet down. But again, he's a rookie. Ladders is something that receivers do anyways, all the time. So he's probably, going through the motions. I feel like a lot of these individual drills is guys just going through the motions, trying to figure it out. Something like that. He already knows what to do. No Braden Smith at the first practice as training camp begins. Chris Ballard said that he will be limited, which we already talked about. Yeah, Loki. I knew going to bed last night that I stayed up too long. But, hanging out with the woman, staying up for a little while. Definitely probably do need a nap. But, dude, I promise you it's something about these lights. Because I'll yawn through the day every now and then. There's something about when I turn these lights on. Like, for some reason, it just makes me start to yawn. I don't understand it. Maybe it's because my chair is comfortable. I don't know what the situation is. I just know when I sit down to do these videos, like if you guys watch a video that was pre-recorded, like if it's a little choppy from time to time, it's because these lights. Man, I turn these lights on and I start yawning. Let's see. Love the team roster, what we have in place. Colts fan from Peyton days. And then, that's when I started being a Colts fan. I'm 31 years old, grew up in the Peyton Manning era, so that's when I started being a Colts team. And, the roster build that we have right now is unlike anything we've had before, which is why, going into it, I have a lot of question marks about this team. What can we really be, right? And, of course, a lot of that kind of falls on Anthony Richardson and if he's able to stay on the field, and what the team can be with him on the field. But, especially with a quarterback like Anthony Richardson, you think about the Colts as a whole. In my lifetime, I think Josh Freeman may have been the only black starting quarterback that the Colts have ever had. Now we have a mobile quarterback, right? And you have a coach like Shane Steichen who's been with different guys, right? Think about Phillip Rivers, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, and now he gets Anthony Richardson. The things that he's going to be able to do. He was able to have a 9-win season with a little bit of Anthony Richardson, but mostly Gardner Minshew. So everything that's in place, this team is very exciting. I completely agree. And then, going on to what Daniel's talking about here, I'm excited to see how AD and Pierce are going to push each other. That's for a lot. And you mentioned it here. Latu, Ebicom, Pay. You also throw Dio in there. The competition that's going to happen throughout training camp is going to be very exciting. We're going to dive deeper into those in their own videos. But the competition that's going to come with this team is going to be incredible. Okay, that's understandable. I can see that. I think I know the ones on my sides here, trying to put light on the jerseys, those ones are LED. I think the light that I have in front of me here is LED too. I'm not completely sure. Don't know what would make them fluorescent either. But it's also probably a lot of the same thing, right? A lot of unnatural light type of thing. You're probably exactly right. It is something along those lines. But here, as we continue, we have Jonathan Taylor doing some more work, just some footwork here, doing a great job. Again, you don't want to see too much, right? You want to see these guys going through, doing their thing. We'd like to see them going full speed, but at the end of the day, this is all you really want to see. Just get through the drill. Make sure the footwork is clean. That's really what these guys are working on is fundamentals, right? Make sure the footwork is clean. It looks good right there. QBs, we saw this video earlier. This is just a still picture of it. Nice throw here to Josh Downs from Anthony Richardson. Routes on air, again, was a lot of it. And that there is what we didn't see from AD. Josh Downs is moving right here. So AR, you see lackadaisical in his drop back, and then it has to be like, oh, boom, we have to get this out. And gets it out. And it's interesting just seeing the backdrop here. I lived in Indiana for a long time, grew up in Indiana the first 22 years of my life before I moved to Florida, and just remembering, kind of this kind of scenery. You got the trees all over the place in Indiana. This farmland kind of backdrop here, right next to the football fields here for Grand Park. Just a little bit reminiscent, right? Reminiscent from where I came from. Colts head coach Shane Steichen makes it clear that Anthony Richardson will be used frequently as a runner. Obviously, that doesn't mean he'll be a run-first quarterback, but the threat of his legs will certainly be utilized. And quote is, "Are you going to limit Steph Curry from shooting three-pointers?" Which is a great point. It's the point that I've tried to make to people who get in my comment section. Oh, he's going to keep running. He needs to be safer. Like, he needs to be safer in terms of what Lamar does to be safe. We don't need to limit him running. He is a quarterback that can run. A running quarterback that can run. However you want to categorize him, his legs are useful. That's why he got drafted. You can't change that. So going forward, completely agree with Coach here. You got to let him be who he is. You can't cap what he's going to be able to give you just because you're scared of potential injuries. This is football. That's what happens. You have to have him be on the field making the correct decisions for himself. Sometimes he's going to have to be physical, but you want him to limit his physicality. That's what you want to limit. You don't want to limit what he gives you as a runner. Okay. Our 5 will be fine. We have a top 5 offensive team. It will take some time. Right, I feel the same way with this offense, with the quarterback, with the pieces that we've put around him. Like, very quickly seem to have gone from not being very good at receiver to being very deep at receiver, right? Drafting Josh Downs, drafting A.D. Mitchell over these last 2 years, not even having to go out and get a big-time free agent. Josh Downs could be very special, and we talked about that a lot last year. You also have A.D. Mitchell, who could be a very special receiver in the league. Pittman, who's a special receiver, number 1 receiver, and is getting paid like it. Alec Pierce and Ashton Doolin being depth pieces is exactly what we wanted. Okay, when you talk about those 2 guys being depth pieces for us, that's great. And those are the kinds of things that can help us win games. If we have a guy that misses 2 or 3 games, boom, we have some guys that can replace him. And we know that Alec Pierce and Ashton Doolin have the capability. They have the experience, a big-time experience. People forget Ashton Doolin played a lot of snaps. Big-time snaps a few years ago when T.Y. Hilton missed some time and we weren't deep at a receiver. Ashton Doolin has the experience. Alec Pierce has the experience. Has been underwhelming for what we expected from Alec Pierce, but he has the experience of being a starter for, 2-3 years, right? So, like, at receiver, I feel so confident with it. Like, I can't agree enough that what we have around Anthony Richardson is so good. The offensive line, the receivers, what we've been able to draft going into the future, I feel so good about it. And it seems like a lot of people feel the same way, which is great, right? And I think as long as we keep coming back to it, it's like as long as Anthony Richardson stays on the field, we can be really good. If we're really good, people are going to start to realize just how good Chris Ballard is at doing his job, right? The big issue has been quarterback's been up in the air ever since Andrew Luck retired, right? Luck retires. Rivers is good. The team wasn't incredible then, though, but Rivers was really good, right? Hall of Fame type guy. Then you move on from there. Carson was underwhelming. Matt Ryan was underwhelming. Brissett was underwhelming. Like, it's just been not great. So as long as the quarterback is able to stay on the field, we'll see that everything that the team is around him is incredible. I really think this team is incredibly stacked with talent. So great points right there. I'm just going to take a chance saying your name. Okay, you tell me if I'm wrong. Kendiro. Is that how it is? Kendiro. Just want to be able to get it right when it comes in chat. And then Daniel here, Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen are much less effective if they stop running. I'm fine with the runs, but would love to see but would love to see less avoidable contact for him. Yeah, and I mean that's a good point. And like, yes, you're right. Like if they didn't run, they'd be much less effective. Um, so it's like, yeah, you just want him to avoid it, which is why I bring up Lamar Jackson during this conversation all the time, is because Lamar Jackson is, in terms of protecting yourself as a running quarterback, like Lamar Jackson is the prototype. Not only is he the prototype quarterback that can throw and run, but he's the prototype. Like he protects himself better than anybody. His ability to get down, his ability to avoid contact is just like T.Y. Hilton. Look at some T.Y. Hilton tape, and then go look at Lamar Jackson tape. They kind of do the same thing. Get out of bounds, get down, find a way to split defenders, get under them, and avoid as much contact as possible. And I think that's what AR should look to do. I think he's shifty enough to be able to do it. So we'll see if he's able to develop himself enough to be able to get to that point. That's the next step, right? If you got to stay durable, you got to stay on the field, you got to learn how to protect yourself better. That's that next step that we're really looking at, right? As a passer and as a runner, I think as a quarterback, he's good, right? Read progressions, decision making, how quick he can read. Like, I'm good with all that. I saw enough. We didn't see a whole lot, but I saw enough that I'm good with that. Can he develop in order to protect himself is really what we're looking at. Marvin Harrison, yeah, boom. Exactly. Marvin Harrison was incredible, right? So good, in fact, at avoiding contact that he has one or two of those plays where he gets the ball, and as soon as he's catching it, he goes down, and he just stayed down, curled up. Defense doesn't touch him. He gets up, runs for a touchdown, right? Yes, perfect example, just like that. Like, find a way. Now, as a runner, right, you're thinking of a running quarterback, which is basically a running back, right? It's a little bit different situation because you're running towards people and into people like that. But yeah, Marvin Harrison also great. So I'll keep working on the pronunciation there. I don't want to continue to botch it. But it's not Kendero. I'll keep working on that. If you could give me some sort of pronunciation, help me out. But I don't want to be botching your name if you're coming into the chat. Was Saul QB1 what he had in Indy? Ryan Grigson didn't protect Andrew Luck. Yeah, Ryan Grigson, man. A lot of things have been said by me over time about Ryan Grigson. And listen, Pat McAfee might have made amends with him. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. Ryan Grigson is public enemy number one in Indy until further notice. In my opinion. That's just the way it is. I don't like Ryan Grigson. I just don't. And I won't. You see what's happening in Minnesota. Okay? He's not the GM. He's like the assistant GM there or something like that. Not even the GM. But I said, I don't remember if it was this channel or if it was before I ever was on this channel. I was on a channel called Horseman Sports. At some point, I talked about Ryan Grigson. That when he went to Minnesota was going to get worse because of it. I knew it. And what's happening? Now, look, I'm a Michigan fan. Okay? Wolverines. I'm a Wolverines fan. I know I'm from Indy. I grew up a Wolverines fan, just the way it is. J.J. McCarthy ain't it, dog. Maybe he's able to turn into Tom Brady in the NFL. Probably not. I'm pretty good at reading quarterbacks coming into the NFL. I just don't think J.J. McCarthy's the guy. You look at everything Minnesota's doing, not great. Okay, the way they're going down. Minnesota's going down. I don't want to sit here and talk about the Vikings. This is a Colts channel. We have a guy, Trey. I hope Trey's not watching this. He's Viking Syndicate guy. I don't mean to bash you, but you guys let Ryan Grigson in the building. Ryan Grigson makes everything worse. He destroyed the Colts. He's working on destroying the Vikings from not even the GM role. So there's that. There's my tangent on Ryan Grigson. And just in case you guys want to know, I still hate Ryan Grigson. Okay. But yeah, that's why he got injured a lot. And our guy's going to be protected a lot better. What we have right now, Right, you saw last year with the offensive line, Bernie taking a step in the right direction. Braden Smith not being able to stay on the field, and that's going to be a problem in the future. But, hey, maybe Blake Freeland can take a step in his second season. We also went out, drafted a couple guys, right? Tanner Bortolini for the interior offensive line, but Matt Gonsalves, maybe he can play that right side of the line. That's what I expect to happen. Braden Smith, I expect this one way or another. Braden Smith in 2025, probably not going to be with the Colts. That's just my opinion. Okay, and we'll talk more in detail about that as time goes on. But that's just my opinion, okay? We talked about it earlier in the offseason. You really want to know my thoughts on that, go find that video when we're done talking here. But I think the rookies that we drafted this year going to be key components going into the future, and I think we drafted the right guys. As I looked into these guys, I think we drafted the right guys from a personality standpoint, athletic profile, what they can do on the field. I really think that what we've done the last two drafts is going to be massive for the next 10 years of the Indianapolis Colts. And that's just how I feel about that, right? But yeah, the Trent Richardson trade, terrible, awful. Can't get away from it. We'll always be reminded of that. The Ryan Grigson era, just all around terrible in every way. But here we have the offensive linemen, the big boys coming out, the guys we were just talking about. Rookies right there in the back. See Matt Gonsalves, big number 71. Love this, man. Big boys, Ryan Kelly coming out. I believe him and his wife just welcomed their kid. Danny Pinter's in there, who missed all of last season but coming back this year. So big boys getting out there, doing what they need to do, rolling deep. Then we have some post here with Anthony Richardson, man of the people, doing some autographs. I see a lady that works for Wish back here. Anthony Richardson doing what he needs to do, man. Being the man of the people, the franchise quarterback out here signing autographs. I saw a picture also of Latu staying after signing a bunch of autographs. So it's good to see that. Now, something that was a little concerning was this here. And Jake Arthur said, we'll have to ask about it, but Ronnie Harrison may have moved back to safety officially with the arrival of Jalen Carlisle. He worked out with the DBs during position drills and is getting some reps at free safety. I don't like that whatsoever. Ronnie Harrison was really good in the role that we put him in, the role that he plays, right? The Shaq Leonard role. Shaq Leonard gets released. Ronnie Harrison comes in. Ronnie Harrison has an immediate impact on the team. The role that he plays in Gus Bradley's nickel defense is vital, so I don't think taking him out is a good idea. Okay, that's just the way I feel about it. But I've also been on record when we had the video talking about each rookie individually. I told you guys, Jalen Carlisle is going to fill that spot that Ronnie Harrison is playing. That's what I expect in the future. I just expect Ronnie Harrison to play that and be the vet in that spot. And eventually, like next year, Jalen Carlisle can take over. That's what I expect to happen. That's what I would hope happen. Now, Jalen Carlisle is probably more athletic, more speed, more explosion because Ronnie Harrison's been in the league a little while. He's over 30. I'm somebody that's over 30. Like, I'm still, in really good shape right now, but like I'm over 30 and I understand there are a little more limitations than when I was 25. So yeah, Jalen Carlisle might be that. I just think it's a better idea to have Ronnie Harrison in that spot than at safety. I think that's what that comes down to. It's not about Carlisle not being on the field. It's about the right guy being on the field in the right place. Okay, and then you have Anthony Richardson throwing the routes on air here. Josh Downs right there getting a pass. I mean, just throwing lasers into the end zone here. Overthrowing Kylan Granson. Not what you want to see. See, this is what we're talking about. Those intermediate throws, these are the ones you want to see Anthony Richardson get down. But right there, you're seeing Flacco trying to gun these things in. It's just a difference of Anthony Richardson throwing the ball and other people. Anthony Richardson can gun it, dude. But there's a lot here. I didn't watch this video earlier. I'm watching it first time right here with you guys. And Anthony Richardson, of course, as we can see, Anthony Richardson um, needs to touch up on the accuracy. He's going to need to brush up. This is a guy that missed last season playing. This is a guy that um, has only played, I believe, 17 games since high school. So um, he's got to brush up here. This is still going to be kind of his rookie season. But you hope that through this training camp process, you hope to see him really get in a groove with these guys, right? He's missing some stuff high. He's missing some stuff behind. That was a really good pass right there. But overall, just want to see him clean up some of the things that he's missing here, right? Like that, boom, pass behind. Want to clean that up. And then the passes over top of Kylan Granson and like that. That one a little high for Josh Downs. Josh Downs kind of short. But it's this one here. Kylan Granson, overthrow, boom. Next one, Drew Ogletree, overthrow, boom. You just want to clean those things up going into the season. But it's the first day of practice and training camp. You expect to see him continue to get better at that. And then this post is the last one that I have. Just some really good pictures, I thought. These were some nice pictures. And I saw this one. I actually think I saw this picture on Bring the Juice. They were talking about training camp a little while ago. And this is the picture that I saw for their thumbnail, I believe. Nice picture here from the Colts. Then you have DeForest Buckner. Great picture. Like the pictures that they get are incredible from training camp. Last year took some really good pictures. You have Kenny Moore, Segan Alubi right there, and Zaire Franklin right here. I'm sure probably talking some smack. Zaire Franklin acting like he's going to be able to not get into it. He's talking some smack. And then ending practice here got everybody clapping for something. Who knows what was going on here. I'm sure there will be a video at some point. But just a good team picture here. Coach, AR, Jonathan Taylor, Ryan Kelly, some of our key guys standing up in here. So just really good to see a lot of good stuff coming here from the Colts and their content team. They put a lot out. The Colts, James Boyd, we saw a lot from him. Noah Compton. Shout out to all these guys that are going to practice and everybody that's putting out content for us to look at. Of course, appreciated, and of course, appreciating you guys coming by. And checking it out. I want to do more of this, right? Having the capability of going live, talking in real time with you guys is great. You know what I mean? Like Chris Ballard re-signing the core players. That's what we need right now. Going into the future, it's how you're going to structure contracts to fit when you know you need to sign Anthony Richardson in a couple of years. How's everything going to shake out with Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, A.D. Mitchell? In the future, there's going to be a lot to look forward to in what we're doing. But for now, re-signing the guys that we need to re-sign. Kenny Moore, Michael Pittman Jr., Zaire Franklin. What's going to happen with Ryan Kelly next year? What's going to happen to E.J. Speed? And they're starting to talk about his contract situation. Did somebody we draft this year, is that going to be somebody taking over for Speed in the future? Possibly, right? How much money do you really want to dump into the linebacker position? Is Jalen Carlisle going to be the guy in the future? Is it going to be Jalen Simpson? Who knows? Right? There's so many questions in the future. But what we have, again, the last two drafts for Chris Ballard have been really good. So I'm really excited to see this upcoming season. How are these guys going to do? That's why we're talking about second-year breakouts. So many of the guys we drafted last year were hurt, right? And the two videos we put out so far, Anthony Richardson and Juju Brents, second-year breakouts because they just didn't play enough. What we saw from them, I thought, was really good. They just have to be on the field more. So we're going to keep talking about more second-year breakouts. We're going to talk about rookie spotlighting and kind of talking about these guys some more. We had videos on individual rookies already once this offseason, but as we get into the season, I want to touch up on what we're looking at, what we see from early on in training camp. I'm going to have roster projection. You know what? I have my little sheet right here. We're going to have roster projections, roster bubble updates. Again, going to continue doing training camp updates, roster updates as we go along, and plenty more, right? Like we've already talked about guys that, hey, maybe we should move on from this guy or that guy, before the season or in the season. Maybe there are guys that we should go after. So there's plenty to talk about, right? Plenty to talk about and how we can contend this season with different teams, right? We need to contend with, of course, the Chiefs, Super Bowl champions, the Ravens, who are going to be a very tough team. We had a great game with them last year. And then this year they have Derrick Henry. We're very familiar with Derrick Henry, so what will happen going forward? I think we can be competitive, but we'll see, right? Again, a lot of content, man. A lot of content coming up. Now, actually, since we're live, I talk about my day job with you guys. Before I'll let you know, I'm a manager at a restaurant down here in Florida, down here on the water. And so the next few days, I actually, going into next week, I work at night a lot, which is going to cap what we can do here. Tomorrow we should be able to have a training camp update before I have to go do my day job. And then Saturday, depends what time they practice. Maybe we can. The fact that we can go live now makes me think that maybe during the week we'll be able to get a lot of these practice updates on the same day. Last year during training camp, we weren't able to because of the day job. Now that we can go live, we might be able to actually do a lot of training camp updates day of, which is going to be great news. But I work at, in the evening a lot, right? I have Sunday off. Next Friday, I don't work, but work most of the days in between. So. With that said, that's just what we're looking forward to. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, good job. Chris Ballard doing his thing. I still wish we had pulled the trigger on the Snead trade. But, yeah, me too, man. I wish we had Snead. Something I continue to think about. I do not like that the Titans got him because I'm not going to sit here and pretend that they didn't get somebody that's really good. I wanted him. I had plenty of videos on this channel about wanting Snead. I'm not going to backtrack just because the Titans got him. I really wish we got L'Jarius Snead, but I have faith in our guys. They just need to stay healthy. If our guys stay healthy, I think our secondary can be really good, at least from the cornerback positions. I have a lot of faith in Nick Cross as well, so put all things together, yes, I think our secondary can be really good. It's just there's so much unknown with the last two draft classes from Chris Ballard. Have any media on Jelani? Yeah, I was thinking the same too. I'm glad you brought up Jelani Woods because there hasn't been anything on Jelani. Where's Jelani? Saw some off-season training videos of Jelani looking really good. He looks jacked. It looks like Derrick Henry out there, but he's bigger than Derrick Henry. So Jelani is somebody very interesting that I want to talk about more coming up. It's interesting that there hasn't been a Jelani Woods press conference. There hasn't been any news on Jelani Woods. He's not starting the season injured, but there also weren't any videos on Jelani. Like, where's the Jelani hype? What happened to the Jelani hype? Everybody talked about him all offseason. Where's the content out? I don't know. Hopefully there's some coming up. The rookies, what we have are solid chip players. Right, yeah, I think this was a really good, when you look 5 years in the future, I think the 2024 draft class is going to be one of the biggest draft classes for Chris Ballard. Now, of course, 2023 going to be way bigger because there was 11 players, but also Anthony Richardson is on it, right? So that's going to be weighed differently, but I think this is going to turn out to be one of the best draft classes that he's had. That's just, I've said it before, and I'll continue to say that. I think this was an incredible draft class for Chris Ballard. Wish we had Snead for real. Yup. Team is solid. No pictures. Yeah, nothing, bro. I just don't understand. But hopefully we see more from Jelani. That's what we're hoping, right? That's part of, when you think of the freakness of our offense. Anthony Richardson, freak. Jonathan Taylor, freak. When he's top of his game, He's different than all the other running backs in the NFL, just like LaDainian Tomlinson. When LaDainian Tomlinson was at the top of his game, like that's how I feel watching JT, is that it's LT. And so you think about just those two. Then you have Pitt, who's a dog. Josh Downs, who's a dog. A.D. Mitchell coming in. Alec Pierce's backup. Then you have Jelani Woods. He's part of that. He's part of the freak show offense. Like, yeah, we need more Jelani Love. Hopefully somebody, I feel like we have enough traction here on this channel that maybe somebody that is in Colts media is there. Hey, man, please, as Colts Nation, we need some Jelani Woods love. We need some Jelani Woods content. Fill it up for us and give us what we need, man. We are fiending. We should still sign Justin Simmons. Yeah, that is a conversation we were actually going to have tomorrow. There's a video I recorded a couple days ago, going to drop tomorrow about that. There's also, I haven't gone through the press conferences from yesterday yet. We're going to go through that. Chris Ballard said some things that we need to talk about pertaining to the safeties, and there's more that he talked about that we're going to talk about, but I'm going to go through all those press conferences. There are more from today. It just takes time to go through, get the notes, do all that. But I'm going to start going through all that and get that done. Want to try to get as much content as possible. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want you guys to miss anything. I want all the information out there. Okay, I want to be your guys' one-stop shop for all Colts information. I'm going to get you guys as much as I possibly can in terms of information. So we're going to talk about the safeties tomorrow. We're going to get on the press conferences and try to go through the different notes on that. So again, if you're tuning in and you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. Have notifications turned on so you get notified when we are talking about that. Like Juju as a number one cornerback, but love him as a number two. That's fair. I just hope, I want Juju to show that he can be that number one, right? Which I think is any of us. We just want him to show up and show out. I think Juju has the capability to be a number one corner. Physical attributes. He's an absolute dog, right? Like when you think about how he plays, he hits people, he goes after the ball, right? Able to force fumbles. He's a good hustle player. He has all the attributes. It's just, can he develop the skill set and be able to stay on the field and be consistent? That's where the great ones separate themselves. Consistency. Can he be consistently great and be our number one guy? Because I think Jalen Jones is a really good number two. And I think Kenny Moore as a slot guy, like he's the best slot guy in the game and has been for a long time. So the potential's there, but potential gets you fired. That's what they say all the time. So we'll see what happens there. Jelani can be a beast. Absolutely he can. I'm not an anti-Mo guy, but I want to see us cut him loose. That's how I feel too, exactly how I feel. I feel bad when I start talking about Jelani Woods, or not Jelani, Mo Ali Cox, and should we cut him? I don't even think I ever made a video about like cutting or trading Jelani or Mo, because I like Mo. He's a fan favorite, man. Like, I like him as a person. I like him as a player. I think as a run blocker, he brings a lot. And when you put him on special teams because of his blocking ability, he's not going to be the guy that makes an error. So there's value for him on the team. I just think what his value is for us is just too high for what he puts out for the modern NFL and what we're hoping to get. I just think that we're at a day and age where it's just passed him by. Let him go somewhere and try to win with someone else. He can bring value to a different team, like the Bills. I think Mo Ali Cox, if you could trade Mo Ali Cox, that'd be great. But I think a team like the Bills, because I kind of like the Bills. I like Josh Allen. I like James Cook. I think they have a good team. Dalton Kincaid, really good. It's just a team that I like. Of course, not when they play the Colts, but I do like the Bills. And I think a team like the Bills would greatly benefit from having a guy like Mo. Can you trade Mo? Will it be possible to do that? I'm not entirely sure, but Mo, I don't really want to see him gone too, but it is probably about that time because there's so much talent. Where are you going to get Will Mallory on the field? Right? We have Kylan Granson, who's probably not going to be re-signed because we have so many tight ends. But you got to get him on the field because of his athletic ability. He can be a mismatch. Will Mallory needs to get on the field. Drew Ogletree is a mismatch. Jelani Wood's a mismatch. Like, what's going to happen? Here's where we're at. Okay? This is where that conversation breaks down. Throughout the entire team, doesn't matter what position we're talking about, cornerback, quarterback, wide receivers, running backs. It doesn't matter. Wide receiver, yeah. It doesn't matter who we're talking about. When it comes down to it, who's going to take the reins this season? Right? Anthony Richardson's the guy. We expect that. JT's the guy. We expect that. Michael Pittman, wide receiver 1, we know that. Who's going to take the reins at number 2? Who's going to step up to be that guy? Who's going to step up to be the guy at the different positions we need him to at safety? 2 young guys, third year guys. Nick Cross, Rodney Thomas. Who's going to step up to be who we need you to be? Who's going to step up to be the cornerbacks that we need you to be? Who's going to step up? Dallas Flowers, been here for years, coming off an Achilles. Juju couldn't stay healthy last year. We need somebody to step up and be the guy. There are different positions throughout the entire team that guys need to step up. Who's going to do it? So while we can talk about, we have all this talent in the tight end room. We have so much talent, so much athleticism, guys that should be on the field all the time. You can make a case for all 4 of them to be on the field and be our starter at all times. You can make that case. I don't want to make the case. I want them to make the case for us. They're so good that they can't come off the field. That is where we're at this year. That's where I'm at right now. Who's going to separate themselves to be that guy? And if it doesn't happen, you have to start breaking up the tight end room. There's value in the tight end room. Kylan Granson is not going to re-sign. You're not going to get anything back for Kylan Granson after this year. What can you get back for Drew Ogletree if he's not going to be the guy? What can you get back for Drew Ogletree? Where can you send him to a team that if you have a tight end that's a difference maker, like, it separates you in this league, right? You have Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, George Kittle. Think about the teams they're on. They win all the time. So, for me, if none of the tight ends separate themselves this year, you have to start trading them. Mo needs to be gone. Kylan's not going to be here anymore. Again, Drew Ogletree, what are you going to do with him? If Jelani can't step up and be the freak that we think he's going to be, hey, maybe you can get some value out of him. Maybe we roll with Will Mallory. You bring somebody else in, a vet from somewhere else and bring him in. How does that work? I don't know. I don't want to think about that because I want to think that Jelani Woods is going to take the reins. Okay, so that I didn't expect the conversation to go there, but that's where that conversation goes for me. It's just there is so much talent, but I just want one of the talented guys to show me that they can be the talented guy all the time. All the time. We need our guy. We need a guy. We need him. In this offense, in Shane Steichen's offense, as explosive as it is, throw to score, run to win. You need one of those guys. We need one of our guys to step up and be that person. So that's how I feel about that situation. Thank you for bringing that up. Need to stay healthy 100%. The Eagles, would the Eagles get Simmons? I don't know if the Eagles would get Simmons or not because they drafted Cooper DeJean, and what they already have there. But I don't know the roster enough, to be honest with you right now. Diggs from Seattle, another option there. With AD, Jelani Woods, BR. Hey, brother, I'm not going to lie. I don't think I know who all that. So we're going offensive lineman is what we're doing here. That's I don't even know who BR is, bro. I'm probably just blanking here. I don't know who BR is. Quentin Nelson. Was that Will Fries? Braden Smith. Like, am I tripping, bro? Who is BR? How do I not know this right now? Moving on. Size mismatches. I agree. Simmons would be a good pickup. Simmons still out there. Yeah, Simmons and Diggs both still out there. Adrian Amos still out there. Again, we'll dive into all that tomorrow. I don't want to give too much away. I want to give y'all a reason to come by and check out the video tomorrow. I agree. That's the main reason. I would have been fine with us taking Bowers. He felt fitting. Lots of potential. Exactly. Boom. Exactly. Because Brock Bowers would have immediately been the guy. We hope Jelani's a guy. But, hey, you draft Brock Bowers is going to be the guy. Which makes it an interesting decision for the Raiders to draft Brock Bowers. Like, they must not feel good about what they did last year. You know what I mean? They drafted Mayer. I thought Michael Mayer was a decent draft pick. He was decent for them, but clearly not like Sam Laporta, you know? So maybe that was their thought process, trying to make that offense more explosive. But would have been nice to have Bowers, yeah. But I'm glad we got Latu. We need a more consistent pass rush. That was the thing I harped on all offseason. I think our secondary can be good as long as our pass rush isn't giving quarterbacks 5, 6, 7 seconds to throw the ball. Yeah, we got 53 sacks, but those downs, all the downs in between those sacks, we're giving up way too much time to the quarterback to throw, which hurt our secondary. So those things go hand in hand. Latu should help with that. The competition, Quiddy should be better this year, you would hope. Ebicom had 9.5 last year in his first year with us. Comes out of San Francisco. San Francisco, the defensive line factory. So that's the way I feel about that whole situation. Yeah, hey, anybody wants to hire me as a hype man, go ahead, brother. You know, I'll take any kind of income I can get. Bernard Raymond, right. I don't know how I don't understand that that's Bernard Raymond. Old Bernie in there. So, okay, have a goal line set with AD, JW. Now I'm a dummy. Who's W? JW. Right, so obviously not Josh Downs. He's small. Is there a lineman I'm forgetting? I don't know. But then Bernard Raymond, Quentin Nelson, Will Fries, Braden Smith, Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman, Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor. That is a lot of beef. No matter who JW is, it's a lot of beef. Oh, my brain, bro. I'm putting my own brain in a pretzel over here for no reason. God, we just got done talking about, bro. How do I forget that? Yeah. Saw a defensive pickup at number 15. Yep, I remember. He used to play tight end. Port is eligible. Do you saying Latu used to play tight end? Is that what you're saying? I don't know if I had ever heard that. Oh, Ryman played tight end. Okay. Yeah. I'm starting to follow along here. Right. Okay. That'd be cool. Yeah, big man touchdown. We haven't had a big man touchdown in a little while, right? Actually, I think we had one when Saturday was the coach, I'm pretty sure. But even still, been a little while. Always good to have a big man touchdown. I'm somewhat of a big man myself, working on getting in better shape. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this one. Been live. We're going right past an hour now. Who's called back due to a penalty? That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we need to get Q in at some point. He's got to get a touchdown at some point in his career. We got to do that for him. But yeah, we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap this one up, man. Didn't intend this to be an hour, but it's nice to have people in here in real time, being able to talk with you guys. This is great, man. As you could tell, love talking about Colts football. Could do this stuff all day. Honestly, man, I just I need to take a shower. Got home from work, got straight to doing this, so I need to go get myself all cleaned up. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm back later streaming Madden. Again, there's a video. I want to go through the press conferences and take notes on that because I want to get as much information, right, so that you guys don't have to watch what I think is it's like 40 minutes of press conferences from yesterday and today, maybe more. So I'm going to go through that so you guys don't have to, and I'm going to try to summarize everything. I'm going to get as much content out to you guys as I possibly can. We're getting back into the football season, getting back in the training camp. The fuel is back, man. The fire is going again. I'm back in the saddle. We're good to go. Got you guys riding with me, man. If there's anybody that wants some more Colts content or is excited about the Colts as we are, man, go ahead, share this content with them. And again, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell them they need to subscribe. Have notifications on. We're going to keep churning this content out. Got so much planned. Again, this is my little cheat sheet here. Right, boom, boom, boom. We got a couple little pages here. Got the lines filled up, so we got plenty coming, baby. Plenty coming for you guys, and I don't want you guys around for all of it. Gonna go live as much as we can throughout the season because I really enjoy this kind of stuff. So again, appreciate you guys so much for coming by. So much, man. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Much love to each and every single one of you. And as always, take care of yourself. Take care of each other, and go Colts.